AI strategy. It's a phrase that gets thrown around everywhere, right? But it's usually buried in a ton of hype and, honestly, a lot of complexity. So what does it actually take to make AI work for a business? Well, today we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're distilling a playbook from MIT's own executive guide on the topic, and it all kicks off with a much-needed dose of reality. This quote from IBM's Rob High, it just nails the central challenge perfectly. We all get that AI is powerful, but its value isn't just automatic. It is not a magic wand you can just wave at a problem. You know, a lot of companies dive in and end up with unsuccessful projects and a terrible return on investment. And that's a huge risk if leaders don't really get the nuances of this stuff. That's the exact problem we're digging into today. And really, the entire challenge boils down to two critical questions that pretty much every business leader is wrestling with. First, there's the big strategic question, why? Why do we actually need AI and machine learning in the first place? And then comes the tactical one, how? How on earth do we keep up with all the new developments that actually matter? Our whole breakdown today is structured around answering both of these. All right, so let's tackle that first fundamental question head on, why? According to the guide, the answer isn't just about, being more efficient or cutting costs. It's about tearing up the old rulebook and creating a whole new strategic playbook for this digital age we're in. The real why is captured right here. See, the goal isn't to replace people with machines. It's about creating this incredibly powerful partnership, a synergy, right? It's where the raw computational power of AI handles all the heavy lifting, which in turn amplifies our uniquely human ability to be creative, to be strategic, and to innovate. So let's break down what each side is bringing to the table here. So first, let's look at the machine side of this partnership. The source calls this information processing. Basically, this covers all the structured, data-driven procedural tasks. We're talking about massive computations, recognizing patterns in data, and executing complex rules at a scale and speed that is just inhuman. And what about the human side? Well, that's what the guide calls sense-making. This is our secret sauce. It's our creative and innovative capacity. It's about understanding context, dealing with ambiguity, asking the right questions, and then taking what the machines give us and making smart, strategic decisions. This is the part that you just can't automate. So this whole philosophy translates directly into a modern playbook. The guide argues that older frameworks, like Porter's 5 forces, they just don't cut it anymore. Instead, it lays out this 4-step approach. First, focus on outcomes. Start with a business goal, not the cool tech. Second, know capabilities. You gotta understand what AI actually lets you do, not just what the software is. Third, see trajectories. Don't get fixated on today's tech. You have to anticipate where it's all going. And finally, number 4, execute. Because, let's be real, the most brilliant strategy on paper is completely useless without amazing execution. Okay, so we've got our strategic why, but a great vision without a plan is, well, it's just a dream. So that brings us to our second huge question, the how. How do you actually take that high-level strategy and bring it down to earth, into real-world action? To make this super concrete, the source has this fantastic anecdote. It's a letter written from the MIT program directly to a CEO. The CEO basically asked, how do I get my company to the next technical level? And the answer he got wasn't some high-level PowerPoint. It was really specific and tactical. And the advice wasn't vague at all. It pointed to specific machine learning libraries like these. Now, don't worry, we're not doing a deep dive here, but just to give you a sense, Scikit-learn is a go-to for a lot of foundational machine learning. TensorFlow and Keras are absolute powerhouses for building really complex deep learning models. Now, the key takeaway isn't that CEOs need to become coders, not at all. It's that leaders have to be comfortable enough to engage at this level of technical detail if they're going to truly guide the strategy. This brings up a really crucial point. How do you stay current when these tools are changing so fast? Well, the guide offers this powerful insight. The really cutting-edge knowledge, you're not going to find it in a textbook or a static online course. It's shared, in real time, within these technical communities of practice. So to stay ahead, your organization has to be part of that conversation. Okay, to bring both the why and the how together, let's look at a really tangible example that's discussed a lot in the guide. Robotic process automation, or RPA for short. This is going to help make all that abstract strategy feel a whole lot more concrete. So what exactly is RPA? Well, to put it simply, it's about using software bots to handle all those repetitive, rules-based tasks that people often do in an office. Think about data entry, processing forms, or reconciling reports over and over again. It's the information processing part of our equation in action. But, and this is a big but, implementing RPA isn't as simple as just buying some software. This table here shows the whole complex ecosystem that's involved. You've got implementation partners like McKinsey and Deloitte, you have the top tech vendors building the tools, and you've got analyst firms like Gartner shaping the entire market. This is what the how looks like at a massive enterprise scale. It's a team sport. So as we pull this all together, we really come back to the central theme of this entire guide. It's not about minds versus tools, it's all about the partnership between them. I absolutely love this quote from the author. It's so provocative, right? It just perfectly captures the mindset you need in the age of AI. It's a call to constantly reinvent yourself. The goal isn't just to keep up, it's to proactively make your own skills obsolete. And in doing so, create the next wave of opportunities before anyone else even sees them coming. And that leads us right to the single most important takeaway from this entire playbook. Success is not about automation alone, it's about augmentation. The winning strategy, the one that's going to set you apart, is to partner smart minds, your people with all their creativity and sense-making abilities, with smart tools that handle the information processing. And so we'll leave you with this final question to really chew on. As our tools get smarter and smarter, and they start handling more and more of the information processing, what does that leave for us? What is the creative, the contextual, the sense-making work that will always remain uniquely and powerfully human?